Welcome to Learner's Planet. Now let us again further continue with the class of biology, and the topic we are continuously discussing is microorganisms. Till now we have studied the different types of microorganisms and some of their examples. What are the different types as we have studied already? Yes, these are bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa and fungi. Now we have understood that how they can exist as independent unicellular organisms, or they can exist as they can grow in colonies too. So the different ways we have seen different type of properties among different class of these microorganisms. Another thing that we had studied is that these microorganisms, they can be our friends and foe. And this is the topic which is now we have to continue further. These organisms, they can be very useful to us, they can be very beneficial, or on the other hand, they can cause a big harm to our body or to our surrounding also. We have introduced such things already, and now we are going to discuss the same thing in details further. Let us start with the benefits or the uses of these microorganisms. If we assume the word uses, these microorganisms, they can provide us advantage in different ways. That means they can be helpful at domestic level, they can provide us commercial advantages or medicinal, or also it can provide us the environmental advantages or the benefits. Now, domestic. We all know what we mean by the domestic. That means at a household level. You must have seen these organisms being used in our kitchens also. How? In different ways. For example, in the production of curd, in the production of we can say like cake and so on. At commercial level, that means at industrial level. So industrial level, they could be used for the production of cheese at large scale or curd at large scale, but in the modified form also. Not only this, it could be used for producing different kind of alcohol, different brands of alcohol. Besides alcohol which is being used as a liquor or for drinking purpose, or as a biological or as a agent which is used in the laboratories. Besides, it could be used for preparation of many different kind of chemicals like vinegar, like phenyl and so on. So there are many advantages at commercial level. Further, they could be used as a medicinal thing or for the medicinal preparations in the form of antibiotics or vaccines. Besides, there are the environmental uses of these microorganisms. In the environment, they can directly be involved in the balancing of biogeochemical cycles, or they can help in cleaning up of the environment, or they can also help in increasing the soil fertility. In many ways, they can have advantage at environmental level too. So now we are going to discuss the same things in details. Each topic would be done one by one. Let us begin with the domestic uses of the microorganisms. The first thing we had said is our curd. We are giving the example of the curd preparation. So curd is basically a precipitated form of milk. Now how this precipitation is actually done? That is the question now. That is done with the help of, by the aid of little microorganisms. Which microorganism? It is lactobacillus. Now first of all, we should know the characteristics or the nutritional quality of this particular food item, that is curd. Generally, many people avoid consuming the curd, but it is highly recommended by the nutritional specialist or by the doctors too, or by the physicians. Or even at home, if you will see, your grandmothers or mother or your elder people must be telling you again and again to have curd, especially in summers Although it should be taken throughout the year, but in summers it is must. It should be taken. Why is this so? The reason is, number one, it is a altered form of milk. So it is initially rich in calcium and various kind of vitamins like vitamin D. Further, it is rich in various minerals, which is definitely and it is required. It is surely required for the growth of organism. Besides, it contains protein. Which protein? Milk protein. The same protein which is present in the milk, that is protein called as casein. C-A-E-S-I-N. This casein is very important protein and is required for the maintenance of your body tissues or the cell growth, in short we can say. Further, it is containing several microorganisms. Now these microorganisms actually help in maintaining the balance in the intestine. Balance of what? You must be knowing that our intestine also contains some of the bacteria or little other microorganisms. So this particular lactobacillus or these microorganisms present in the curd basically helps in maintaining the balance of this count in the intestine, which often gets disturbed due to some metabolic abnormalities. Further, now we are continuously saying the microorganism involved in the formation of curd is lactobacillus. How does it appear? So this picture is showing the magnified image of this particular organism. Which organism? Lactobacillus. This lactobacillus, it is a bacteria. Now bacteria, you remember the properties of bacteria? These are prokaryotic organisms. Now this lactobacillus, you can see these are having some rod-shaped structure here. So bacillus itself is suggesting that they should have a rod-shaped structure. We have studied earlier that the bacteria which is having rod shape, they are actually known as, they come in the group Bacillus. So this lactobacillus is one of the example of this particular group. Here is the magnified image. Now, what it is doing when added in the milk or when it is forming the curd. So basically, how the curd is prepared. You must have seen it in your kitchen itself. Your mother or anybody at home must be preparing it at home itself. How? For that, they add a small part of this curd. It is around less than half of spoon in a bowl. So when this small quantity of curd is added and is mixed up with warm milk, then what will happen? These lactobacillus, they will start multiplying in the milk. Now, we cannot simply say this, we cannot end up with this word multiplies here. We must understand what this multiplication means over here. Multiplication means increase in the number of lactobacillus. Now you imagine how the number of lactobacillus or the bacteria is going to increase. That must be a process of asexual reproduction, or it is simply a kind of growth process in such organisms. Now since these are unicellular organisms, we can say that they are reproducing by the multiplication or by the cell division only. Now if the cell division is taking place, the new organisms are being produced. For that, they need energy. They need raw material. From where this raw material and the energy is coming? That is actually coming from the milk. We know that milk contains sugar. Which sugar is present in the milk? It is lactose. Now this lactose is used up by the lactobacillus as a source of carbohydrate. Then further, it will convert this lactose sugar into the acid. Which acid would be formed from lactose? It will be lactic acid. Now when this lactic acid is produced, what will happen? The pH, the acidic quality of milk is going to change. So this change in the acidic quality of the milk will make the will start the curdling of the milk, or the milk will start precipitating due to formation of acid in it. Which acid? Lactic acid. Now, from this word, that is lactose or the lactic acid, from here the name lactobacillus is originated actually. How? The word lactose present in the sugar, that is actually utilized by the bacillus, so the organism is known as lactobacillus. This is how it is forming the curd here. So curd, second thing is that when the acidic quality is increasing, the pH is decreasing down, then the soreness, the taste of curd also changes. The soreness will increase. It becomes more and more sour here. So this is how the lactobacillus converts milk into curd. Besides that, the bacteria or such organisms are not only used in curd formation, but other items are also prepared with the help of curd, like cheese, like pickles. So what they are doing in this cheese and the pickle? Cheese, if it is maintained, then definitely a similar type of group of bacteria is involved in the maintenance or the preparation of cheese and pickles. When it is added to the pickle, then actually what is happening here, it will not allow the growth of other bad type of bacteria or harmful bacteria in the pickle. So this is how it helps in the maintenance. Second thing, it decreases the pH. It changes the acidic quality of the pickle. More and more acid is produced. So this increase in acid in the pickle will definitely affect the taste. So it will increase the sourness of pickles also. In the case of cheese, it is actually used for initially for the preparation, and secondly for the flavor provided to the cheese. There are so many different flavors now present in the market, and that is basically because of the use of different type of organisms in this particular cheese production. Lactobacillus could be used, Brevibacterium could be used, some kind of yeast and molds are also used for the cheese preparation. But definitely the type of biological agent or the microorganism used will affect the quality and the taste of the cheese further. Now these things are prepared at the domestic or the home level within the kitchen, and we have also observed the mass production of certain items, these items also. Curd, nowadays you are observing that so many brands of curd and the milk is available in the market. So there the curd is produced at the large scale. Besides that, the important point I would like to state here is that they have enriched the curd with different type of microorganisms besides the lactobacillus. So this addition of such kind of microorganisms in the curd also helps in improving the quality of the microorganism present in our intestine. And definitely, if such type of improvement is maintained, then what is going to happen? Our digestion would be maintained. It maintains the count of organism in the intestine, thus improving the digestion. And hence, such type of enriched curd is known as probiotic curd. So this way, such type of things are actually produced and provides great advantage to our daily life. And thus these type of organisms are very, very useful to us. Further, we can understand the commercial use of similar microorganisms further. As we have just quoted before, that these curd and other food items are prepared at the commercial level too. Besides that, the other processes are also being maintained at commercial level. So the principle behind the commercial use of such microorganism is actually fermentation. This is the basic fundamental principle used behind the use of microorganism, whether it is at domestic level at commercial level or anyways. So what is this fermentation? Fermentation is nothing but it's a kind of chemical reaction. Which chemical reaction? In which the sugar is converted into the alcohol. Sugar converted to alcohol not chemically, not simple by a chemical reaction, but due to the microorganisms. So how is it possible actually? It is because the microorganism will use of the sugar in the surrounding and it will convert it into the alcohol. And during this conversion, the amount of energy would be released. So this energy would be utilized by the microorganisms for their growth and maintenance of other metabolic reactions. Now, let us see how this fermentation is useful at different levels and which organisms are actually just doing such type of processes. The example is so common: yeast, bacteria, etc. We are continuously just studying about the yeast and bacteria, and there are so many species, so many types of examples of such type of organisms. But what we are studying right now is the use of such organisms. So now let us understand how this fermentation process shown by yeast or bacteria is useful to us. So the very first important use could be the production of alcohol and wine. Now the industries which are manufacturing the alcohol and the wine, those are known as distilleries. Now, wherever this distillery is actually located, it is not very tough to identify, as the smell is actually dispersed to a very large area. So if these distilleries are present in the nearby zone, we can easily identify it with the help of the smell coming out in the surrounding. How these alcohol or wine are produced? It is by fermentation, and the biological agent used for this purpose is yeast. The different species of yeast are used here. Now the question or the thing is how it is actually done, how the process takes place. For this purpose, basically sugarcane juice, guava pulp or fruit pulp or different kind of agents are used. Now this particular we can say jaggery, even that is used for the purpose of yeast. A sugarcane solution, juice solution or jaggery solution is actually mixed up with the yeast. Now this solution which is made from such sugarcane juice is known as molasses. So yeast is added in the molasses. In the molasses it is rich in sugars. So yeast will start using that particular sugar and the fermentation is going to begin. As it is consuming the sugar from the juice or pulp, then what will happen? The alcohol would be produced. And the type of initial reactant used here is going to change the quality and the composition of these particular things, like that is alcohol or the wine or any similar product. Now basically the use of alcohol is actually prohibited. It should not be consumed, definitely. The reason is because it affects our nervous system. If it is taken, if it is consumed in a very normal limit, then fine, but otherwise it definitely affects our metabolic reactions as well as our nervous system too. Besides, these alcohol are not only directly consumed as a liquor, rather it is also having other uses as in the medicinal preparations, or there are many other we can say in the form of spirit, in the form of some disinfectant, etc. So basically they are having advantage as well as a disadvantage. The disadvantage is only when you are consuming it at a high level or in a more concentration. Further, you can see that these yeast can also be used in the bakeries or the baking industries. This should be something in which you are more interested. These baked products could be like bread, it could be pastries, it could be cake, and so many other products are nowadays available which can be prepared in home as well as at a commercial or at a industrial level. So in this case, what is the basic thing which decides the quality? The main thing is the spongy or the puffiness of these products. How much soft it is, that decides the freshness of these products as well as the quality. So that is what we have to understand now. You can see here, this is a picture of a fresh bread. Many of us are using it as a breakfast and is having different type of qualities and flavors too. And of course, you all must be using it in different forms by making different dishes of the same product. Now, in this case, let us concentrate on the use of microorganisms again. What we said, we are preparing it from the flour, and it is by adding the yeast. This picture here is showing us the dried form of yeast. It's a dried powder which is mixed up with the flour, and the mixture is prepared so as to make the bread. Now let us see how this yeast actually helps in producing the bread here. Yeast actually, what it is doing is, it will rapidly multiply inside the flour, in which definitely other agents must also have been added. So over there it will consume the sugar present in these ingredients. When this sugar is utilized, what will happen? It will convert into some other form, and along with that the carbon dioxide is also produced. When the CO2 is produced, it is gas. Now this gaseous agent will start increasing. It will start filling in the gaps present in the dough. So that mixture which was prepared from the flour, that is the dough, it will get more and more fluffy, or we can say it will become more and more spongy. Why? Because the interspaces present between the particles, they are filled up with the carbon dioxide. And when this carbon dioxide raises, the quantity, the volume of dough will also increase. But since inside these gaps the gas is filled over there, so it becomes more and more soft and spongy. This is how the softness and the sponginess of the bread is actually maintained. Once the dough is ready, it is actually incubated at the correct temperature, it is further baked, and further it is going to be sliced into different pieces. We can get it in the form of brick, as well as we can get it in the in the form of slices too. Not only this much, these days the different flavor of bread are also available. There is the sweet bread. There are the fruity kind of breads. Further, there are the breads which are enriched with different type of ingredients. White bread, brown bread, so on. Besides, not only this much, there are some which are having some that fruity kind of agents mixed over it. So there are so many variety of the bread which are generally used up by us nowadays. But one important thing is that although we are using the bread in our daily life, but we should be very careful with respect to two basic things. Number one, that which kind of flour is used for the preparation, like whether it is wheat flour, whole wheat flour, or it is the filtered, or it is more and more defibrous type of flour. So what we want to say is, it should be enriched with the fibers also, because generally the flour they are using is actually the one from which the fibers has been removed. So such could be actually causing the digestive problem. Second thing is that whenever we are using, we should see the freshness. We should observe the freshness. More and more soft bread, that means more and more fresh it is. Or not only this much, we should also observe the colonies developed over the bread, over the surface. Why it is so? Because if it is incubated, if it is stored for a longer period of time, then certain other different harmful type of yeast can also grow over the surface. And definitely they appear over the surface that you must have seen at your home in the form of, we can say, like fluffy kind of things, cottony type of colony, or as we can say like white or pink or green or some blackish kind of colonies over it. If such growth is observed, strictly don't use such type of bread. Not only bread, other similar products also, because they can be harmful for us. So there are so many other kind of uses of these organisms, which we are going to continue in the next session. So we will continue further. Until then, just go through your notes and all your studies. Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Bye.